In 1970, several UK acts dominated the year by releasing 2 albums within the span of it. And one of those bands was Pete Brown and Piblokto. And from their second album of 1970, Thousands on a Raft, the monstrous opener, Aeroplane Head Woman.
With tears in her eyes, she longs for the moon to wash flames from the skies. She doesn't look for the thrill or the kill. There's only one. He came from the sun, planet of her dreams. Rides her searchlight beams. She sits in the city with wings on her mind. She waits for the birdman who left her behind. He had to fly almost straight and to hate. There's only one, though the race is run. Of her love feels him far above. with hope in her heart. She listens for Spitfires engines to start. She that is near, though it's been 30 years. She's got the photograph, it's looking for a laugh. How the bunnies in blue hope their aim was true.
And that was Aeroplane Head Woman by Pete Brown and Piblokto from their second album of 1970, Thousands on a Raft. And it begins with that angular, distorted, trebly, mid-tempo riff, mostly in D minor, going like 1, 1, 7, 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 3, 2, and then going down to C, and then A minor 7. Yeah, I just find that one of the most monstrous riffs of this era. Like, it just right up there with like Smoke on the Water and Aqualung. Yeah, just so just distinctive and immediately just having that thunderous, like moving mountains type of feel and quality. Yeah. And we go into our first verses. The riff kind of subsides, but the melody behind it persists amid with this open cadence smolder amid Brown's steamy, intense lines, and we hear that riff some more, and then around 3:10 there's this simmering slowdown, and things kind of crest in the key of C major 7, a really pretty chord with that dropped kind of octave note where the octave of the root is dropped half a step, so you hear that that B. Yeah, and with those bendy, scaly, soaring leads by Jim Mullen, the guitarist, who would later make up half the jazz funk duo Morrissey Mullen with with Dick Morrissey of If. And he would also play in the band, in the mid-70s he would play in the band Kokomo, this like funk rock supergroup, and was with Brian Auger's Oblivion Express for a time. So his talents have been quite high on call during this era. And then we hear some more repetition of movements that had already been introduced in the song. And then around 5:10 we get this rippling, frosty organ solo played by one Dave Thompson. And then that too ends up cresting in that key once again, C major 7, yeah, great landing there. And then a few more repetitions of the movements we had heard, taking us out to the end. Clocking in at about 6:42. And yeah, this album, his second, basically Pete Brown, after having been the lyricist for Cream and a musical partner of Jack Bruce, and would continue collaborating with Jack Bruce after on Bruce's solo career, as a performer in his own right, really had quite a burst of energy in like a 2-year period. In 1969, he formed the band Battered Ornaments, and they put out an album with his name before the nameplate. Then they sacked him and put out another album on their own in that same year. And then in 1970, he puts out 2 albums, like in the span of, like 6 months. Yeah, in April 1970, he puts out Things May Come and Things May Go, but the Art School Dance Goes On Forever. Perhaps one of the longest album titles ever, aside from that Tyrannosaurus Rex title. You know the one I'm talking about. The title track I profiled on here last year. And Thousands on a Raft came out in October 1970. It used to be cataloged as a 1971 release, and I had the first album in my top 20 of 1970, and Thousands on a Raft in my top 20 in 1971. So it was kind of aggravating for me to have to face the fact that when all the databases came to the consensus that it was in fact, and verified that both came out in 1970. And RYM used to list their non-album single Flying Hero Sandwich as a 1972 release. And so I went from thinking I could spread the Piblokto wealth over those 3 years, and nope, it just all has to be crammed into this 1 year. If you have spent the kind of amount of time I have working on the year-by-year archives, you would feel the pain. Anyway, let's see what these lyrics are getting at. She stands on the cliff top with tears in her eyes. She longs for the moon to wash flames from the skies. She doesn't look for the thrill of a kill. There was only one. He came from the sun, pilot of her dreams, rides her searchlight beams. She sits in the city with wings on her mind. She waits for the birdman who left her behind. He had to fly almost straight into hate. There is only one through the race, though the race is run. Pilot of her love feels him far above. She waits at the airport with hope in her heart. She listens for Spitfire's engines to start. She hopes that he's near, though it's been 30 years. She's got a photograph taken for a laugh. All the boys in blue hope their aim was true. Given that he says 30 years, and this had been, all of a sudden I'm thinking about, in 1970 it had been 33 years since Amelia Earhart's plane had disappeared. Yeah, in 1937. I'm wondering if this is supposed to be kind of lifted off her, if so, there's kind of a cynicism though. That's kind of like an evil spirit haunts the aerospace and is waiting to claim victims. I don't really want to cast a shadow on legends here, but what if it was about kind of like the spirit of Amelia Earhart is haunting the airways, and that when planes go down, it's I don't even want to go there. No, it could have nothing to do with that. I wonder what inspired the 30 years, if it was anything in real life. No one has explained this particular track, so your guess is as good as mine, unless you know unless you have seen an interview or can kind of crack the code. Yeah, no one seems to have in the Airplane Over the Sea. I just doing a Google search, Aeroplane Head Woman, lyrics meaning. I come up with, my second return is In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. Oh, nothing to do with this whatsoever. Yeah. Anyway, For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of Pete Brown and Piblokto, see the directory of albums by English P artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the track we just heard, that monster, thunderous, gargantuan riff, and just the overall ebb and flow of the track, the different movements it went through, the soloing. Yeah, who had the best solo in it? Was it Jim Mullen with that guitar? Was it Dave Thompson on organ? Yeah, and the lyrics, if you have interpretations that are more that crack it more than I could. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most air travel Tremaximist, signing off.